I'm pretty sure I did this almost a year ago to the day. Hello and welcome back to another video here in the LEGO Room. I hope you are well. Today I'm going to touch on a topic that we have seen come up once again in the wider LEGO space and among the murmurs and the rumours. And that is, of course, the idea that we'll be getting an MBS set before the end of 2026. Now, this is something I touched on at the very start of 2025, maybe the back end of 2024. I can't quite remember, but about this time last year there was a lot of murmurs and a lot of rumours that we would be getting an MBS set within the next year or so, and a year has transpired since then. We are still without an MBS set, but we were sort of told that would be an MBS set back on the market by the end of 2026, and of course we've no longer got the Mos Eisley Cantina that of course retired at the end of 2024, and a lot of sort of jokes online that the Death Star is actually an MBS set and not a UCS set because of all the little scenes that you see in amongst that. But we are due an MBS set, and for those that are completely new here, an MBS set means a Master Builder Series set, and we've seen this in a few different forms over the last couple of years. And what I want to do is take us sort of back to that original video I did maybe about a year ago, with the most likely probable outcome in this situation, and that is that we will end up getting a Endor Village or an Endor Village / bunker set as the next MBS set. It makes sort of total sense, to be honest. I think the fact that the original trilogy is always preferred over the prequel and sequel trilogies, as it seems to be. You've also got the fact that it'll be about 13 years if it comes out next year since that Ewok Village from 2013, and of course a fair bit longer since the last Endor bunker as well, almost 20 years since the original Endor bunker. I think for that reason alone, and also the inflated price on the resale market of that Ewok Village, I think it's more than likely that you could see this being the next MBS set. It was what I said about a year ago, and I still stand by it. It was the original rumour about this time last year that we would see an Ewok Village / Endor bunker combination Master Builder Series set. I think the clamour for it is definitely there. It is the most likely Master Builder Series set to hit the market next. However, like I did in that video, I wanted to talk about the fact that there's other sets that I would really like to see and where we could potentially go next with an MBS series. And of course, the one that seems to be banded about quite a lot, and I covered this about a year or two ago on the channel, is the idea of a Geonosis style arena, with the potential to create a huge fight scene, maybe with some of the animals that you see in there, the 4 pillars, Obi-Wan, Padme, Anakin, and of course all of the Separatists up on the sort of balcony, as it were. And I think that is something that they could do. Is it something that they will do? I think you'd be looking at something closer to the 30th anniversary of Attack of the Clones if we were going to see this, which would of course be in 2032, which is of course when the license for Lego Star Wars is up, and of course expected to be extended beyond that point. But I think that is something that you'd be looking at closer to an anniversary year, and when there's a little bit more attention maybe on Attack of the Clones. Maybe you could see a sort of 30th anniversary brick, as we've seen for Return of the Jedi, for the 40 years and for the 25-year anniversary of Lego Star Wars that we got last year. So I'm going to put that one on the back burner because I don't think it's that likely we'll see it anytime soon. I know a lot of people have mocked it up, and I would love to see it. I just don't think it is the next most likely outcome. What I do think is a very possible outcome is by the year 2030, which would be the 25th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, that we see a Kashyyyk Master Builder Series set. Now, I've seen a lot of people try to attempt to build these online, and a lot of people try and mock them up with AI these days to try and create the imagery for what this would potentially look like. And I think that you're essentially looking at a tree-based structure, or a couple of different tree-based structures, kind of like you saw with the Ewok Village back in 2013, of course, with a ton of Wookiees, a ton of Separatist ships. And I, of course, have spoke at length about these, having all of the sets from Revenge of the Sith back in 2005, including that Wookiee catamaran and, of course, the turbo tank as well. And if we could see some kind of catamaran again, I think in a Master Builder Series scale, I think it would be really, really nice. And I sort of believe that they can do it because they've seen with the Imperial Shuttle this year in the Death Star that you can get a good scale, small version that fits in a bigger set of these ships. So I think a catamaran would be a really nice thing to see inside of that. I am digressing, however, I do think that that is probably the most likely sort of MBS set that you could see from a prequel set from the prequel trilogy. I think that's the most likely thing, is that you get a Wookiee-based Kashyyyk Master Builder series set. I will, of course, take it a little bit left field. Now, this is probably unlikely, but I do think it is still possible, and that would be some kind of, and I'm pretty sure I said this in the previous video, a Naboo style MBS set. Now, my original idea was, of course, to have the hangar with the ships, with the droids, with the droidekas, with Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Padme, Panaka, all those sort of people in the hangar bay. But what I think would be quite a good idea with something like that is to see it in the style of Cloud City from a few years back, where you've got the 4 basically different scenes in 4 different quadrants, and you could, of course, at that point have outside the hangar, inside the hangar, you could have the fields where the Gungans are at, and of course you could elaborate on inside the throne room in the battle scene between Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan and Maul, the sort of Duel of the Fates scene. I think if you sort of split that up into 3 or 4 sections, either in a circular dish like Cloud City, or even just stack them sort of one on top of another, as we've sort of seen with the Death Star this year, I think that could be something really nice, and I do think that is a valid idea, and I haven't really seen anybody else speak about doing something like that. I have seen showcases of a Naboo hangar bay with all of the N1s in and the fight scene, but I haven't seen anybody sort of speak about the idea of doing a Naboo style MBS set that is split up just like that. So I will leave it there for today, because I've touched on a number of different possible MBS sets in the past, including Hoth and Endor and a few different other ones as well. You can go back and check those videos out if you want to. And if there's something that you would like to see as an MBS set to hit the market within the next couple of years, do let me know in the comments section below. As per usual, please do keep it kind, keep it respectful, do respect each other's opinion. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, because we've got some more Lego Star Wars stuff coming up within this space, particularly over the next couple of days, so make sure you stay tuned. Do hit the subscribe button if you are new here. It does sincerely help us out, and we do sincerely appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the very next video. Bye.